Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where people put themselves on the spot, waiting for your judgment. Sit comfortably and listen carefully, as you're about to hear today's cases. You hold the hammer and you apply the law. Let us have your verdict down in the comments section. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for telling my ex's mother about his affair? So I, 25F, dated my ex-boyfriend Ian, 28M, for 2 years. From 22 to 24. Things ended when I discovered his cheating with a mutual friend, that it was more like an affair that had been going on for around 3 months. When I confronted him, he apologized, cried and begged for another chance. I didn't buy the act, and told him to get the fuck out of my life. And he begged me to not tell his parents about the affair because they would disown him. For context, both of his parents were married before getting together, but their ex-partners cheated on them and it completely crushed them. They were friends going through the same, and that's how they fell in love. But they are completely against cheating. Plus, they always treated me like another of their kids, and I also got along with his younger sister. I agreed only because I didn't want any drama, but told him to never contact me again in return. He didn't say anything and stormed out of the apartment, and luckily, he kept his word for a while. Now, what got him angry was the fact that months after we broke up, I post pictures on Instagram with my new boyfriend Eric, 25M. AITA new is kinda a lie. Basically, Eric and I dated since we were 16 until we were 18 due to distance, and we remained friends after the breakup. We would see each other a couple of times a year when he came to visit our mutual friends in the city. Ian was really insecure of him, since Eric is really handsome, tall, and besides dating, we always got along great, and he always knows how to make me laugh. Plus, he had moved to the same city before the breakup. I didn't think we would start dating again, but he eventually confessed to me that he had feelings for me, and we started dating around 6 months ago. To clarify, the breakup with Ian happened last year. Anyway, Ian got furious and I received thousands of texts and calls from him, plus comments on my social media and Eric's social media. I just decided TL called his mother. She was happy that I had called her, but not about what she heard. I told her that I was calling her because her son was harassing me and my boyfriend, and that I had kept the reason why we broke up a secret only because we agreed that if I did, he wouldn't bother me anymore, but that he had been having an affair for months and that's why we broke up, and that all I want is for him to leave me alone, and if he doesn't, I would file a restraining order. His mother was furious and told me she would handle it, and the next I know is that his Ian had been not only kicked out their house, but his parents had cut contact and any financially support, that he was old enough to deal with the fallout of his actions by himself, and he has been living in some of his friends' apartments. Am I the bad person? What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for how I reacted when my niece announced she was engaged? I, 33M, have a pretty big age difference with my brother, 44M. He had a child at 25, which means that I became an uncle at 14. Because we were pretty close in age, I formed a special bond with my niece, Ella, now 18F. When she was 16, my brother and his family moved away, so I've been seeing them less recently, but we keep in touch and catch up at family events. Last year, at Christmas, my niece told me that she had a boyfriend and told me a bit about him, but I didn't know the guy. He was invited for Easter and a couple of other events, but was never able to make it. When we were planning our mother's birthday, my brother decided to invite Ella's boyfriend so that we could all meet him. Yesterday was the birthday. I was looking forward to meeting Mark, Ella's boyfriend, but was very confused when I saw her walk in with a man that looked double her age. Spoiler alert, he is. She introduced him to me, and I politely smiled but was deep down very concerned. I went to my brother to ask how old Mark was and he told me that Mark is 36, so literally double Ella's age. She had told me that he was a bit older, but I assumed like early to mid-20s, not almost 40. That's when they called us in the living room to share exciting news. Ella showed us a ring and revealed that they were engaged. I just said what the fuck, and everyone turned around and looked at me like I was crazy. I told them that they were out of their minds if they thought this was normal, that there was no world in which a 30-something should date an 18 years old, and that she shouldn't be getting married. All of them accused me of ruining Ella's happiness. Some even said that I was jealous of Mark, which is so fucking disgusting I can't even explain it. I mean, I'm younger than Mark, but never in a million years would I ever consider dating someone younger than 25. They told me that it was perfectly legal as they were both adults, which isn't true because they've been dating for a year and Ella turned 18 7 months ago, and that if they were happy, that's all that matters. I told them that they were sick for allowing this and that he was a predator, but they wouldn't listen. I know this isn't my business, but I can't help but fear for Ella. She is young and doesn't really know what she's getting into. I'm really scared of her getting married and being unable to leave him when she realizes how sick it was. I then left and slammed the door, and have been receiving pretty wild messages and calls since then. I don't know if I was wrong for this and am just overreacting, and if I wasn't wrong, I don't know what I can do to make them realize how wrong it is. Am I the bad person? What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section, and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for locking the car door and saying my husband will never drive my car again? My husband has a horrible habit of leaving keys in the car. He claims he started doing it after he lost keys on a few occasions, and it was just easier to know where they'd be. I've told him before that is a really bad idea and encouraged him to stop, got him those little tags that'll tell you where you left your keys, etc. He continued to do it until he ended up getting his car stolen. Insurance barely paid enough for him to get a new car, and it wasn't anywhere near as nice as the other. I thought he had learned his lesson as he seemingly stopped leaving the keys behind. His car was getting serviced one day, so I let him borrow mine. I get a notification on the app a little while later, telling me the car was unlocked. Thinking maybe my husband just forgot to lock it himself, I tried calling him to go get the keys, but he didn't answer his phone. So, I locked the door using the app. A couple of hours later, I get a frantic call from my husband saying he can't get into the car. I ask where the keys are. He says he left them in the car and must have locked the door accidentally. I told him that I locked the door using the app. I then tried to unlock it, but it took a few minutes as the app wasn't working. Finally, the door was unlocked and my husband could get the keys. He returned home not long after, mad at me for locking the door and saying it's my fault this happened. I said it was his fault for leaving the keys in the car and he shouldn't have done that. When I asked why he did it, he said he was afraid of losing my keys. I said I have a backup set of keys, which he also knows about. I care more about the car. Yes, it has a tracker on it and I have insurance, but that doesn't mean I want to put myself in that situation where it goes missing. I said going forward he isn't allowed to use my car. I make the payments out of my own account, just as he pays for his car with his own money. At this point, he can't be trusted. If he needs a ride, I'll drive him or he can use a ride share. My husband is calling me petty and saying that I'm being overdramatic, but I really don't think I am, given he's continuing to make the same mistakes as before. Can't wrap my head around that story. What do you think? Who is in the wrong there? Let us know down in the comments section, and let's move on to our last case. Case 4. Am I the bad person for not letting my sister's pregnant friend use my shower? My sister and her friend came to stay at my apartment temporarily yesterday, only for a few days because they had to leave their own for a few nights. I didn't really want them to come because my place is pretty small, NYC, and even more so because their landlord was obligated to pay for a hotel for them, but they didn't want to demand it. I have a 2-bed, 2.5 bath, so my sister is on the couch and her friend/roommate got the spare room since she is like 8 or 9 months pregnant. I don't know exactly really, but she's, like, clearly very far along. The problem came up today when her friend complained about the shower in that room being too small and asked if she can use mine, which is an ensuite in my room. I told her no, because I don't want anyone going in my room and definitely not in my bathroom either. She didn't really argue or anything, but I could tell she was upset that I said no. Then later on when my sister came back home, I guess she'd heard about it and came and got pissed at me and was trying to say her friend can't even fit into the other one. The shower is very small, yes, it's a weird old one that's like a tiny square basically where you walk in and shut the door, so it probably is uncomfortable, sure. And I get it's kind of harsh or mean of me, but still, I just really don't want to give up my personal space. So I told them sorry, but if she doesn't want to use it then they can just go get the hotel, lol. And they both said something about how she can't use it. I just rolled my eyes and went to my room and haven't been out since. Am I the bad person? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.